They said he was finished. They said the indictments would end him. They said the polls showed it was over. The pundits, the pollsters, the entire legacy establishment media, all of them counted him out. Not once, not twice, but every single time. They were dead wrong. So, today on the Little Talk Show, we're going to look at those receipts. And I promise you, they are absolutely devastating for anyone who has ever doubted President Donald J. Trump. So fire up those headphones and lock in. I'm Will Begley, and welcome back to the Will Talk Show, where we give you 100% real news without the legacy media spin. Today we're going to be building a case that the mainstream media simply does not want you to see. So let's get right into it. 2016, every major news outlet, every single poll, every single pundit on every single cable news channel had Hillary Clinton winning the presidency, but not by a little, but by a landslide. They had her winning Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and they were popping champagne bottles before the votes were even counted. And then something happened on November 8th that shook the entire world and brought one of the most great conservative movements in all of human history. Donald Trump didn't just win. He won the Electoral College with 360 Electoral College votes. He flipped the Rust Belt, which was heavily Democrat at that time. And he built the Republican coalition from the ground up. With working class Americans, communities that were forgotten, with people that legacy media had ignored for decades. And those same pundits who laughed at him, those same analysts who called his campaign a joke, they had to sit in front of their cameras that night and explain to their audiences why they had gotten it so completely, totally, and embarrassingly wrong. That was the first time, that was not the last time, they doubted Donald Trump. That's where things get interesting, because after 2020, they thought they had finally broken. They thought they finally destroyed the movement. They impeached him twice. They indicted him 4 times across 4 separate jurisdictions. They said that the legal cases alone would destroy his campaign before it even ever started. The establishment and on both sides threw everything they had at him. But here's what they forget. You don't break a movement by taking out the leader. You make the movement stronger when you try to take out the leader of that movement. Because while the legacy media was running wall-to-wall coverage of every single indictment, every single courtroom, the grassroots, it was organizing. The base wasn't scattering. It was ready. And it was getting mad. And you know what? Make that make sense. Because the more you attacked him, the higher the poll numbers got for him. Every single mugshot, every single indictment, every single attack, it backfired every single time. Real quick, if you are finding this breakdown very valuable, I want you to hit the subscribe button right now, because the truth is, only a small percentage of you guys are actually subscribed. So hit the subscribe button, join the family, because next week we've got more coming that you are not going to want to miss. So let's get right back into it, because we haven't even gotten to the best part yet. But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to what happened in 2024. They shot him on a stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, with the American flag behind him and thousands of his supporters watching. Someone tried to take out Donald Trump. And what did he do? He stood up, he raised his fist, with blood running down his face. He raised his fist, and he yelled and chanted, "Fought, fought, fought." And the image of that moment went around the world. And then on that election night, the polls showed a dead heat between him and Kamala Harris. The media was running coverage on why Kamala Harris had the momentum to win in 2024. They were talking about Michigan even. They were talking about Wisconsin. And when it came down to the votes, when it actually came in, Trump won the popular vote for the first time in his political career, and the first time for Republicans since 2004 with George W. Bush versus John Kerry. He won 312 electoral votes. He became the first president to win a non-consecutive term since Grover Cleveland. The political comeback they said was impossible wasn't just possible, it was historic. And once again, every single person who ever doubted him had to answer for it. What makes this even more powerful right now, in 2026, we are watching it happen again. The America First primary wave is sweeping the entire nation right now. And it's not just beating establishment Republicans, it's humiliating them. Thomas Massie, 14 years of incumbency gone. Bill Cassidy, the senator who voted to convict President Trump during the impeachment trial, didn't even make it to the runoff. He finished third. A sitting U.S. senator gone before the general election even started. And right here in Kentucky, Andy Barr crushed the field with President Trump's endorsement by nearly 30 points. But if you think those are the biggest names to fall, you are completely missing the headlines. Because what just happened in Texas almost 4 days ago, as of recording, might be the most devastating blow yet, with John Cornyn, a 4-term senator, 22 years in that seat, one of the most powerful establishment figures in the entire nation, and the entire Republican Party had the money, he had the endorsements, he had the entire donor class behind him. And Ken Paxton, the Trump-endorsed candidate, the America First insurgent, didn't just beat him, he dominated him in a runoff. Cornyn spent over a year trying to prove that he was the Trump candidate. And he bent over backwards. And he voted however he had to. He did everything he could to avoid getting on the wrong side of the movement. And it didn't even matter. Why? Because the grassroots knows who is with them and who is afraid of losing their job. The voters saw through it, and on May the 26th, a 4-term U.S. senator was sent packing, not because of a scandal, and not because of any other reason, but by a movement that has decided the old guard is done from being rhinos and trying to end the America First agenda that tries to protect people that carry guns, that tries to protect us from illegal immigrants with the border. They saw through that, and they voted to get rid of John Cornyn and go with the America First candidate in Ken Paxton. So let me say this so it sinks in. John Cornyn, 4 terms, 22 years, gone, crushed by the America First challenger with President Trump's full and complete endorsement. That is not just a primary win. That is changing of the guard. That Texas Tribune itself called it a crushing blow to the Texas GOP old guard. And that's their words and not mine. The message from the grassroots to Washington is very simple and very terrifying for career politicians who haven't figured out yet. Align yourself with the America First agenda and President Trump to try to support him so we can make America great again, or start packing your bags. It's as simple as that. The people who doubted Trump in 2016 were wrong. People who doubted him in 2024 were wrong. And the people who are doubting him right now and the movement right now in 2026, they are watching a U.S. senator get blown out in a primary, and they still don't get it. You have had a lot of senators get primaried by President Trump and a lot of representatives because they do not fall in line with the president and they do not fall in line with the America First agenda, and they do not want to make America great again. Here's the truth that the legacy media will never give you credit for understanding. Donald Trump doesn't just win political races, he is reshaping the entire party and the entire nation right now. The old rules of incumbency, seniority, and establishment protection, they are officially dead. What replaced them is a movement built on the grassroots, built on real Americans, built on people who who are tired of bringing, talked down to, and lied to every single night on the news. And that movement has one track record when it comes to people who doubted it. 0 wins. Not one pundit, not one poll, not one establishment figure who bet against Donald Trump has come out on the right side of history. This is not a coincidence. This is a pattern. And the next time someone tells you to doubt President Trump, show them the track record. Show them the track record of his political power, and show them what he has already done for our nation. If this breakdown gave you any value today, smash the like button and share this video with a friend who needs to see this. Because this is exactly the kind of truth the legacy media won't cover for you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, and I want you to do it right now. Your support is the only thing that keeps the show running. I'm Will Begley, and I'm going to leave you off with a verse today. Romans 8:31, King James Version. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, then who can be against us? God bless you. God bless this Commonwealth of Kentucky. And God bless the United States. I'll see you next time on The Will Talk Show. Godspeed to all of you.